Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters who is looking for any kind of help and advice. And the story that she sent to me, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a woman who is aged 31 years old, and my confession, it goes on like this. I met a man in South Africa, a South African man who stays in Musina. This man, when I met him, this was after I had came to Musina, like I had been doing for a very long time, because I am someone who was selling the clothes that we used to buy there in Musina at these Chinese shops. So I would buy them at those Chinese shops at a lower price. Then I'll cross over the border, returning back to Zim. Then I'll sell them at a much higher price. And I did this for 3 years. Then it was somewhere in 2018. That was when I went for the last time. I wanted to go and buy a lot of clothes so that I can have a lot of stock. So when I was in Musina, all of a sudden, I met this handsome gentleman. The way that he spoke with me, I saw that this man, he is someone who is romantic and lovable. When I looked at him, I immediately saw that this man, he was very wealthy. This man then spoke with me, and we then started being romantic with each other, flirting, even though this was like the first time that we had ever set our eyes on each other. The first time when he told me that he wanted to be involved with me, I said, no, I do not want to do that because you are nothing but a stranger to me. Yes, you are saying that there is a chemistry that has happened between me and you, but this is where it will all end. We cannot do anything else apart from speaking with each other. But this man, all of a sudden, as we were having a nice time, he asked me the business that I was doing, and I told him that whenever I am in Musina, I'll be buying these clothes from the Chinese shops. He asked me how much I had, and when I told him the money that I had on that day that I wanted to use to restock for my shops, he then said he was going to give me double the money that I had in my handbag. So I thought that maybe this man, he was like joking, but this man, I saw that he was serious. That was when this man, that was when I fell in love with this man, because he had promised me a lot of money. Throughout the day, me and this man, we were really having a lot of fun. Then he told me that he didn't want me to return back to Zim because he wanted some time with me. He wanted to be with me just for another day. So another day became another day, and we were booked at this other lodge. And when we were in that lodge, my brother, I made love to that man like I had never made love to any man, because each and every time he was on top of me. We never had even a single moment that we wasted. It was just love making throughout the day and throughout the night, until I felt that I have had too much and I can't have sex anymore. That was when this guy told me that it was fine since I didn't want to make love anymore. I was too exhausted and tired. He said, let me take you so that you can go and buy your clothes since you are now having a lot of money. I do not want you to get robbed. We then got into his car. I was with him in Musina all around. He was driving me whilst I was buying my clothes. Then he took me to those taxis. They are those taxis that take you back to the border, and then they will leave you at the Bait Bridge taxi rank. He got me into one of those taxis, and when he saw that I was indeed safe, the man then told me that he will be waiting for me the next time around, that I was going to come back. My brother, when you have fallen in love, when you think that you have finally met your soulmate, there is just something that happens to your body as a woman. So the more that I spoke with him whilst I was returning back home, I then told myself that let me return back to my lover. So my plan was that at least after a month, I should come and restock. But before even the month end, I was back in Mosina. I was now like a teenager who had recently fell in love. When I came back to Mosina, this guy then collected me and we went again to that same lodge. And at that lodge, we really enjoyed our love and we never had time like to talk with each other. It was just our bodies talking to each other. It was love making and nothing else. This man, the way that he waked me up in bed, I really enjoyed him. So after that, he then promised me that he wanted to marry me. But this man, when he said that he wanted to marry me, I doubted a little bit because we were still like strangers, even though we were addicted to each other, but we were still strangers. I didn't know him. I had just met him in the street, so I needed some time to think about it. So the next morning we went to bath, and then after we had made love in the bathroom, we then got out of the lodge and he took me again and we went around Mosina whilst I was buying my stock for my shop. Then later on, my brother, that was when he handed me a small paper and he said, I do not want you to open this envelope here with me, but I want you to open it when you are alone. He said, just put it in a safe place. So I then placed that small envelope that he had given me into my handbag, and then I forgot to open that little piece of paper and I said I will open it when I will be at home. So when I opened this envelope, to my surprise, I found out that there was actually 5,000 rands that was in there that he had given me on top of the money that he had been giving me. So I was really happy and I was like, God, finally you have heard my prayers. This is nothing but a man that loves me with all of his heart, and I am a lucky girl because I am about to get married to a man that is wealthy. I then took my phone and I told him that I loved him with all of my heart and I was happy with what he had done for me, the money that he had given me. So I asked him why he had given me so much money on top of the money that he had given me already. And his response, it was a calm response, and it shocked me, my brother, because this man, he said, oh, that money that I gave you, I forgot to tell you because I want you to buy preparation, like your baby's preparation. And I said, what are you talking about? The guy then told me that I was pregnant. So I could not understand when the guy said that I was pregnant. I said, you mean like the first time that we slept together, I fell pregnant and I did not realize that I had fallen pregnant. Is that what you're trying to say? And he said, no. When we slept together this time around, when you came back to South Africa, I impregnated you. So my brother, this really confused me because as the person who was supposed to be pregnant, I should be the one to feel that I am pregnant, the symptoms and everything. But this man, he claimed that after making love to me, he then knew that I had fallen pregnant. So my brother, since I was staying with my parents and as someone who had been impregnated by two different fathers, I knew that if I was going to tell my mom about this issue, she was going to have high blood pressure. When I found out that I was pregnant, I then ran away from home and I started staying somewhere else because of the pressure that I was feeling. I was really stressed almost all the times. I was always stressed because this man, he was not picking up my calls anymore, as if he had blocked me, and I only had one number that he was using. Where he stays in Mosina, I do not even know at all. I just met him in the streets in Mosina town, and this guy, when I kept on trying his phone numbers, even on WhatsApp, sometimes he will blue tick me until I could see that now the messages, they are just one ticks. They were no longer double ticking until the WhatsApp was now saying invite instead of chat. because he had deleted his WhatsApp account. So I knew that this guy, he was done with me, and now I had fallen pregnant for him. So I kept on thinking about my life, knowing that now I was going to be on baby number 3 without a father. I ran away from home and I started staying in an area here in Harare, in Mbare. So I was staying here in Mbare because I knew that no one knows me and it is close to my shop. So when I was staying here, I then gave birth, and when my baby was 7 months old, that was when I said, let me go to my parents so that I can show my parents their grandchild. I returned back to my parents. They were worried, they were angry, but at the same time they were worried about me because for 9 good months I had hid myself. So it was almost like 2 years, because when I returned back, my baby was like 7 months. But what surprised me is that after I had seen my parents, I was then on my way returning back to Mbare, to the location where I was staying. Then as I was busy breastfeeding my child then beat me so hard on my nipple as he was breastfeeding. I sensed that my baby at 7 months, he had fully grown teeth. I then opened his mouth and I saw that inside his mouth, indeed, he had fully grown teeth. So this is my question to you, Brother Nashi. Is it even possible that a 7 months old baby will have fully grown teeth in his mouth? When I returned back home, my child was really sick. I didn't know what to do anymore. So I called my mom. The way that my child was sick, when I would be holding him in my arms, even my body temperature will get so high. He was really sick. And then my mom came. We then went to the hospital. When we were at the hospital, that was when my child passed away. When this man slept with me, I think that indeed he made me to fall pregnant, but I don't think that I gave birth to a child. I am thinking that maybe this man is a ritualist, and when he impregnated me, it was part of his rituals, because how come that a 7 months old baby will have fully developed teeth that I can only see? The other people that were surrounding me, they said that they didn't see anything inside my baby's mouth, and after that we then buried my child. It gives me a lot of sleepless nights because I keep on asking myself, if I gave birth to a child who was like a little human being, or if I gave birth to a tokology who is being used by that South African man that I met in Musina. This is my own story, my brother. And I dated that man simply because I had lasted after his money, because he was giving me a lot of money. So I had planned my life thinking that with him by my side, I was going to be operating a very big business here in Zim. This is my own story, Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. Yo.